Hey everybody, it's Garrett here with Nordstick. Now that your NordBench has arrived, let's go get it set up. Now that you've taken everything out of the box, you should have this part here, this mainframe, this part all connected, 2 pieces of foam, some rollers, and a bag of nuts and bolts. So I'm gonna dump out the bag of nuts and bolts first, and I'm gonna pair them up. There should be 8 small bolts. Those will be for the foam. 2 medium length bolts. It'll be the same size, and those will have nuts to accompany them. And then there's gonna be 1 big bolt, T-pin, a thin pin, and a red pin. So that should be everything in the bag. First things first, with the NordBench, you're gonna see this pin. It's already in the NordBench. It's the most important pin. When you're using the NordBench, you want it fully extended, and you'll see that there's a line etched on the stainless steel. This line should line up perfectly with the black piece, and then it'll slide in the hole perfectly. So again, you're gonna see 2 faint lines on the stainless steel, and that will help you know that everything is lined up, and then you just slide that pin through. So this is how the NordBench will look when you're using it for exercise. It's very important to be like this when you're using it, because then all the angles will actually be correct. It's also the only safe way to use the NordBench. In the shortened position, it's not safe and it's at risk for tipping. It's just designed for storage. So it's important to make sure it's in this mode when you're exercising. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna screw in this T-pin. So once you have that silver piece fully screwed in, make sure you're spinning the stainless steel. It should fully latch in the front and back hole. Now for slant board mode, if you're using this on a hard surface, that pin may not engage. If you're using it on a soft surface like carpet or turf, the pin should fully engage to make sure the NordBench is level. But on a flat surface, it intentionally should not engage because it'll lay flat on the floor. And we did this so that when you step on the footplate on a non-compliant surface like a carpet or turf, it'll grab for you, but we didn't want that to happen on a hard surface because the hard surface already acts as that compliant surface, forcing it to be level. So you're gonna take this piece and you're gonna put it right on the NordBench like this, and you're gonna be grabbing the big bolt and the big nut. You're gonna then, I'll show you. So you're gonna shove this bolt through and then just test to make sure it lies down perfectly flat. But like I said, since it's a hard surface, that pin's not gonna engage. And now, if you were to put it on a soft surface, when you compress down on it, that pin would engage. So this is an important bolt, and this is an important bolt. You wanna make sure both are as tight as you possibly can to limit wobble on the NordBench. And then same thing with this bolt. Perfect. You can also tighten these bolts too to secure the slant board. This bolt ensures that the footplate doesn't wobble side to side. There should be a little forward and back that just allows the T-pin to slide on the hole. This bolt here ensures that the NordBench doesn't rotate when you're using it. It doesn't wobble at all. Make sure that one is very tight if you're experiencing any issues with any wobble. So next, you're gonna put the piece like this, and you're gonna take this and put it on the NordBench like so. You're gonna take the 2 medium-sized bolts and you're gonna put them through with the nut that they came with. Now I'm just gonna hand tighten this, and then I'm gonna take a 9/16 socket and adjustable wrench, and I'm just gonna make these as tight as possible too. They should limit any rotational wobble that you could experience with the NordBench. Making this as snug as possible is gonna allow the NordBench to function exactly how it's intended. Cool. So now, very little side-to-side wobble. There is a little bit. You needed to keep a little bit of space inside this tube where that black nylon insert is, and that's just so it can slide up and down smoothly. If we took the space out of this and prevented this little side-to-side wobble, it would create a vacuum effect in the tube, making it almost impossible to adjust like so. So the next step, you're gonna take these pads and attach it onto the NordBench. The Nordstick logo is gonna go on the outside, so this will be the left. Now I'm gonna flip the NordBench around so you can see this, and I'm gonna go in a crisscross pattern to make sure everything threads properly. Now I'm hand tightening these. I'm gonna go back through and tighten them again. One thing you'll notice, we updated this pin, so now it's no longer a red ball like this. We replaced it with a pull pin so that it won't rub on the bottom of the NordBench pad. So just a little surprise upgrade everybody's getting. Line the first hole up. You're also gonna see on these pads that we updated the density to make them a little bit more comfortable. We increased the quality of the foam, so it still rebounds instantly, but it's gonna be a little bit more comfortable on your knees. Just make sure these are rather tight. Next, I want to talk about this piece here. So this is personal preference. I prefer this to stay upright when not being used. So if you take this and tighten it a little bit more, you'll get to a point where this doesn't wobble as freely and it stays in an upright position. One thing you'll also notice is the new Nordstick beam here is a little bit wider. This was thanks to some feedback from Joe Gray. So it being wider, when you do hip thrust, the bench won't move at all, making it even more secure. Okay, the last two things we have before the NordBench is fully complete. I'm just gonna lay this down. We just have to set up the rollers. I'm gonna screw this in before I put those in, and then I'm just gonna pull that pin. Make sure it securely locks in place, and then I'm just gonna put this pin across. That keeps it at a perpendicular angle, which is what you're gonna use for back extensions and hip thrust. There should be a little play front and back, because if you're doing slant board squats, you can pull this, now it's completely out of the way. If you were to lay this under your bed, you would take this knob off and it would lay flat 8 to 10 inches off the ground, being able to slide nicely under your bed. So that's the NordBench fully functioning. Some things that you'll notice from an upgrade standpoint is we took the wheels off the front and the handle off the back. A lot of people only use this handle and they said the back handle was interfering with how the NordBench rolled. A surprise upgrade you're getting is that second hole is for vertical storage only. So you can store your NordBench perfectly vertical out of your way, making storage a lot better. A few other things to note. So this part E will sit on those black teeth on the outside of the stainless steel frame. That was 15, and then this is 8 degree. It'll provide you the stability options at those angles at 8 and 15 degrees. If you want to use the higher angles, you're going to take this out like so, and it'll slide into each slot like that, making it easy to go from angle to angle during your workouts. At 25 degrees, I like to use that for sit-ups, hip thrusts, rear foot elevated split squats. For Nordic curls, get started at 35 degrees and work down. If you're having any issues with the NordBench not latching in either of these holes, this front hole is for exercise. This back hole is for vertical storage. This back hole should not be used for exercise, but if it's not latching in either, it's because we don't ship these bolts fully tightened. So you're gonna put a wrench on the front and the back right here, and you're gonna wanna tighten all 4 of these, and by tightening them, it will pull this into alignment and get it to lock. But before you tighten them, it's gonna have a little bit of play side to side. So you wanna make sure it locks in place and then fully tighten these bolts with a wrench. Make them super tight and then everything should fall right in place. But if it's not falling in place, it's because these bolts are loose and they need to be adjusted so that the brackets are perfectly upright and in alignment so that it falls perfectly in all 3 holes. So that's how you troubleshoot any footplate issues with your NordBench. I'm also gonna highlight another video that walks you through how to get started with every single movement. I'll tag it in the comments so that way you can find the appropriate starting point for your NordBench. But if you have any issues at all with your assembly, just reach out to Garrett at Nordstick.com and I will hop on a 30-minute call with you to make sure that everything is set up and functioning properly, making it a very stable, safe product for exercise. Thank you so much for supporting us and we can't wait to see your success. Check out our other videos to make sure you know how to use your NordBench.